around there.
And welcome to the Other Best Podcast. I'm your host Merge, and I'm here with Nelson. Hi, Nelson. How you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. This is going to be probably the best podcast of my life. So I'm ready.
Better than the LeBron one?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Wow.
This is because we're getting Clayton off of a few beers, really tired, and just like when Clayton's peaking, then the whole podcast is better. So it's going to be.
So we're also here with Clayton. Clayton, how you doing, buddy?
I'm tired, and yes, I have had a couple already. Like quickly, I've had a couple too. So,
what a way to celebrate.
Yeah, I mean, Magic Johnson is no longer in the front office. I think that's definitely worth a couple beers.
We are also joined by new to the podcast, Cam. Cam, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I want to celebrate. Can't celebrate like Clayton. No beers. I old enough for that yet.
But you live in Louisiana, man. Go have some Creole, like
Creole.
I'm jealous of the food, man. Like I'm just saying, like Southern food is the best food.
It is, but I'm trying to get where you are. So get out of here.
All right. So as you can probably tell, a lot kind of happened in the past few hours. When did this? Well, first off, Magic Johnson had an impromptu press conference right after Luke Walton had his presser before the game tonight, and he stepped down from president of basketball operations, and then went on to start talking for about an hour in that same spot about everything and anything he could talk about. So let's just start off with this. Clayton, what was your initial reaction when you saw I think Orem was the first person to tweet about it. So when you saw that,
I thought it was a fake account. I was in the middle of, well, not in the middle of one of my last teaching classes was starting, and I see someone retweet something, and I was just like, oh, that's probably fake, whatever. And then like right after that, like 5 or 6 other people retweeted the same exact thing, and I was like, holy crap, this is real. And then I tried to contain my excitement in class, so it was kind of hard to do, especially considering, like most of the other teachers are kind of like, yeah.
I mean, couldn't start screaming out.
I mean, like rest. I mean, they would have been fine with that probably, but rest of them were, like there's maybe 2 other people in there that maybe watch sports, maybe. So like it would have been like no idea. They probably don't even know who Magic Johnson is. So
hey,
anyway, yeah, it was. I'm happy though. But then my phone, of course, decided to completely blow up the entire time. I went from having like 85% battery, starting at like 6 o'clock, to I got like a low battery alert at like 30%, and an hour and 15 minutes later.
Oh my god! Yeah, it was a lot, and from what Ramona said, it was like no one expected anything at all. No one even thought this was a possibility.
Because he couldn't say it to Jeannie, because essentially she would have been able to talk him out of it or whatever, I guess. So whatever.
Probably, yeah.
Good riddance. I will finish now the rest of this beer. Thank you, Magic Johnson.
Nelson, same question.
Well,
Nelson,
So I kind of want to start with a little preamble here. I put money on the Yankees to win the World Series, and that's not looking so hot right now. But I'm sure they'll start to pick it up eventually. The Dodgers were losing a game 4-0 to the Cardinals. I hate the Cardinals, so I was really after my 2 favorite teams, and also the Lakers played today a meaningless game. So I was like, okay, so I have nothing to do with my life. And then I'm just sitting there, and then Magic Johnson gets fired, and then
he resigned.
Right? Yeah, he resigns. But still, you see the whole storm, and I can't get off my phone for an hour. I just keep refreshing, talking to people, and when when I first saw the news, I thought this was great. There's still a lot of variance here. It's not.
Oh gosh, yeah.
It's not that so many things can happen. Some bad paths, which you're probably going to highlight here, but since we can't talk, we can't really go too in deep into those dark timelines.
Yeah, not until Rob probably gets the boot. We'll talk about Rob in a second.
Yeah. So pretty much, there's a lot of hope right now around the team. I think, like Philman put it best. He said, this is the team is like 150% or 1,000% more hopeful than it was before because we're worried about how free agency and the draft was going to go, but now we feel a lot more safe. Feel a lot more safe about like the draft picks and how we're going to work within the margins. Again, we don't know who's going to come in, but the margins were absolutely horrific for the Lakers. The players that they brought in, they did not make an impact. In fact, they were negative players, and they cost us games, and they cost us a spot to playoffs. So whoever they acquire is gonna be better than Magic Johnson. Can't get any worse. It's impossible.
Like 99% of the options will be better than Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
Real quick, just before we let Cam talk. Also, just like kind of remember the way that like he's treated players. Like people want to talk about like how Sam Hinkie treated players as assets and everything like that. Magic Johnson did the same thing, except he kind of did it like in the spotlight,
Yeah.
Like his first big move was trading Lou Williams. That's fine. That was a good deal. End up getting the pick that would be Kuzma.
Yeah.
But then he trades D'Angelo Russell. We never get to see that possible backcourt of D'Lo and Lonzo. But again, whatever. He ends up bringing LeBron James. But like, then you start hearing other things. Orem, was it today? Orem dropped that article about
the crazy like 4-person article that dropped.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. How Larry Nance pretty much asked Pelinka, like, can I buy a house here? And yeah, we'll keep you unless we can get like a top 3 player, which is hilarious, whatever. But and then what, like a week later or something like that, he traded Nance and Jordan Clarkson, and yeah, that was a good deal. That was great. But then the entire fiasco that was the Anthony Davis trade, the bringing in of has-beens, essentially, in my opinion, of Rondo, Lance, Beasley, a couple others. But like catering to stars is great, but then when you also hear that when you go in to apologize or whatever to talk to him about that possible trade to get Anthony Davis, the players were rolling their eyes at them. Like Pete said it on Twitter, like he didn't treat guys well, like I understand like you treat superstars the best because they're superstars. That is who's going to get you, where you want to go. But like you can treat rest of your players with decency, So and I think Pelinka is right there as well, because he was the one that talked to Nance, and then
Pelinka's probably worse.
It wouldn't. I mean, and like if you can't tell already, this podcast is going to be weird, like not super structured, because like there's so much information coming out. Like if you want to go to Twitter, you can hear like 3 or 4 different stories of what's going on, from reporters, or even like Sean Mason, the lawyer. I have no idea how to. Did you just like? Is that like whipped cream?
No, that was Mo Hawkless with the game winner.
Oh,
that was the note. Like it sounded like you just sprayed whipped cream on ice cream or something. Okay. Anyways, just like having just, I don't even remember where I was now. That's great. But okay, just like there we go. Of this podcast is going to be weird, but You know, like, because there's so much information going on, you know, going out. We have no idea exactly what's going on. You could have like, for all we know, what Sean is saying is 100% true. I mean, I take it with a grain of salt because some of it is like crazy, but like at the same time, he knows like being a lawyer, he knows what he can and cannot be sued for. So like, I don't know. It's crazy. If you believe everything he says, which like, that's up to you. Like, some of this is like crazy. Apparently, like, Magic would have been some like fall guy for something illegal that happened, or like to like NBA rules and everything. So it's just, I don't know. It's crazy, man. Like, gonna like information from everywhere. This is essentially a reaction pod. That's it.
Right. Yeah. Cam, what was your reaction when everything dropped?
It was just like a blur. Like, actually, at the moment, I was on the phone complaining about Magic and Pelinka in the article that came out today. And I get this notification from Shams, and I'm like, okay, it's probably somebody Dwayne Wade. So I ignore it. So my friend texts me, he's like, are you happy now? And I'm like, what are you talking about? So I click and I see it. I'm like, okay, this is fake. So I see it, and I take a victory lap around the house, and then I go turn on Sportsnet, and that was really it.
It's just, yeah, it was the same way with me. I saw it and I just started yelling. Just everyone was running around the house yelling that we're finally back to it's gone. Let's do the right thing and hire the right people. So let me ask you guys.
I don't believe that for a second.
Do you guys think that Luke will be the Lakers head coach next season? Cam, I'll start it back with you.
I honestly have no idea. Like, I can see a case for keeping him, but I'm just not sure at this point.
Clayton,
I think he will be back. You know, for better or worse. Like, I've been saying, like, I've been trying to be supportive of Luke because it's just always so negative. You know, like he has clear faults, obviously, but I also don't think he's, you know, the worst possible option. I mean, like, we literally just heard about Jason Kidd being talked about. Jason Kidd.
That's terrible.
So, like, I mean, we've also heard rumors of, you know, Mark Jackson, not a good option, guys. Like, and all these other things. Like, if Luke gets fired, I totally understand it. You know, because yeah, he didn't have a super great season, but at one point the Lakers were the 4th seed. I said it before we started. They were the 4th seed, and they were only like a half a game behind the Thunder for the third spot. You know, like, yeah, you can win in spite of coaching, but you know, it wasn't such a detriment that they were losing games. You know,
no,
the Lakers were, what was it, 15-8 or whatever, when the big three of LeBron, BI, and Zoe were all healthy.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think we saw that they fit with those two guys.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, I don't think, like, my point is if he gets fired, he deserves it. You know, but if he does get fired, I swear to God, they better look for an actual improvement, because regardless of what some people think, you can actually get a worse coach. Like, there are plenty of bad coaches out there, you know? So I do think, like, Luke's staff, if he comes back, the staff all need to be fired.
That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing if he does come back.
I don't know all of the assistant coaches, but I mean, like, I just get rid of all of them. Brian Shaw first. But, you know, if he can bring in some solid assistants, I think they can be really good, and it'll help him as well. Like, people say, if he's not ready, he shouldn't be a coach. Like, that, he wasn't ready. Like, we all knew he wasn't ready when he was hired. You know, that was the upside, you know, like the upside pick, quote unquote, you know, like, you're getting a young coach to grow with a young team. Like you hope that works out. So it didn't obviously work out, say like Kenny Atkinson with the Nets, but like that was the entire point of it. Like if he could just get a good staff and not his Arizona, University of Arizona beer pong buddies, like, well, shout out to Nas. We should be fine, like as fans, we should be like, if he can get a couple good assistants, then that should be okay. But if he's brought back and he keeps the same staff, that's the problem. That's a problem, like,
oh man,
if the entire staff is brought back, then that was a miscue. Now, the reason why I say I think Luke gets brought back is because I do, with Magic stepping down, and I think Pelinka, from everything, it sounds like Pelinka could be out the door soon as well. They'll Genie will probably want to keep some type of solidarity in there,
Like, yeah, you don't want to be. That's why I think he stays too, because they don't want to be looking for 3 different giant jobs.
Yeah, like time. And I mean, like if they can move quick, say like they get David Griffin in, like that's a popular name. Get David Griffin in, get Jerry West back in, because he's a free agent and he wanted to come back to the Lakers. Like, yeah, get those 2 in, promote Ryan West to GM or like some type of assistant, like high-end assistant, promote Jesse again, like just, keep those guys. And then they can figure out like a legit coach, not some type of retread. Like, I'm sorry, if they get like a Ty Lue, then I think that's a sideways move. I don't think it's like, especially since Ty Lue had like those health issues before the finals or the playoffs a couple years ago. Like, can he even handle the stress of being in LA with that position? Like he had a hard time with it in Cleveland, and I'm not trying to downplay him. Like he did a decent job like there. I mean, that was primarily LeBron, obviously, but like, I don't think he was a great coach by any means. Like his offense was okay. His defense wasn't great. Like it just was kind of whatever, like he would be like an average coach, and like, I don't want that. I don't want an average coach. I want to see improvement if we're going to make a change. So with kind of some weird undertones of Magic almost hinting that it was Genie going to keep Luke, I think Luke is back. So that was a whole long thing just to essentially say I think Luke is back. Whatever.
Nelson, same thing. Do you think Luke stays, or do you think he still gets fired?
I think he gets fired.
Okay.
That is going to be because I just think that with a new GM, I think they usually want a new coach, and even if the new GM signs off on it, I still believe that Luke wants to keep the rest of his staff with him, or at least some of the staff, and I'm pretty sure the GM's not going to want to. So
one guy I know for sure won't be back is Mark. Well, not for sure, but Mark Madsen was getting interviewed for the BYU job.
Yeah.
So there's a decent chance.
Go to BYU.
Yeah.
Go to BYU.
Yeah. I mean, like with all these guys, right? They shouldn't be back next year. So whatever happens, the whole staff should go. But I really think that a new GM is probably going to mean a new coach, just because I don't know. At least maybe this is just mainly my opinion, but I really think that the new GM should just get a choice to just pick whoever they want to be coach, not be bothered by Genie. And I really just hope that the whole thing just starts over. You build around LeBron, and that's it. You keep LeBron, you keep some of the young players, and then you keep it rolling. That'd be my mentality. And I really hope for a new coach. I'm hoping for that, and I think that's going to happen because we're going to get a new GM. That's typically what happens. So maybe he stays around for one more year, I really think that'll probably.
I was thinking that they let him ride out his contract so they can.
Well, he's got 2 years left on the contract, but 1 year, one year guaranteed. And then and I mean that could essentially be a prove it year,
right.
Because I think Luke is a legit a defensive coach. The defense obviously fell off a cliff, but that was also because we lost a ton of defensive talent.
Yeah, we lost though. We had a Josh Hart on one leg for half the season.
I mean, we saw the Lakers as a at least top 10 defense for.
They were half of the year. They were number 6 when Lonzo went down.
Yeah, so at least half of the year, maybe more. I think he's so. If you keep him in, because he has his issues. Obviously, you bring in an assistant coach to groom him, I guess. But if you bring in an offensive coordinator, that's not freaking Jesse Mermes. You're I think that just is a big help.
Yeah. So we've heard a lot about names that people have thrown out there in terms of guys who would take over, in terms of the GM or president of basketball operation. We've heard Jerry West, we've heard Ryan West, we've heard Jesse West, we've heard Pat Riley, we've heard David Griffin, we've heard a lot of different names. Is there a pairing that you guys like the most out of all of them? Is there a pairing that you want to see more so than the rest?
You said me. You kind of on my end. You kind of
no. Is there a pairing you want to see the most in terms of president of basketball operations and GM?
I think the dream. I think pretty much all of us would really hope for is bringing in David Griffin, and bringing in Jerry West.
Yeah.
Now Jerry West doesn't.
Ryan.
Yeah, Jerry doesn't necessarily even have to be the president of basketball operations. He could be a consultant. That's kind of what he is with the Clippers. And then you just make David Griffin the president of basketball operations. Then that's where you have them work with Ryan West and Jesse. So I mean I think that's kind of the real dream outcome. I don't.
Yeah, because it sets you up for the future as well. Because Jerry West is, like you said, over 80 at this point, and then you would have his successor right behind him and his son. How cool would that be for that to be the next guy up after Jerry?
Yeah, that's not a typical. He knows what it means to be a Laker. Those two have been. Jesse and Ryan have been legit for the last 2 years or so.
I mean, they're the reason we have most of our good non-LeBron players,
Yeah, so they have shown it's not just the LeBron the Laker connection. They've produced if you want to say it like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's the best part.
Whoa. Cam, same question to you, man. Are you in the same page as you'd want Jerry West and David Griffin, and then bring up the two young guys to underneath them, pretty much?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much on the same page with Clayton. I guess my only thing is I wouldn't mind Griffin. That'd probably be my number one option, but. Kind of a part of me kind of wants somebody that hasn't kind of been linked to LeBron early in his career, but just coming in and focusing on the Lakers. But
no, I get that.
I mean, we haven't talked about this, and I'm gonna be the first one to bring it up, and I'm gonna do this. I think Sam Hinkie should become GM.
You know, it's funny. Mike Bresnahan brought up Sam Hinkie before the game.
I know.
I would love that. It's not going to happen because I think people legitimately fear.
Oh yeah, they would totally see it as a negative.
Yeah, he's going to just do what he did in Philly.
I would
trade away good players for picks. I don't think and. Well, I think he would be. Well, I think he would be successful. Trying to like quote unquote win now. I don't think another team's going to do it for a while.
I think bringing him in as a consultant will be the better move.
But I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, has there ever been a GM, who's been so successful in the margins? Like he's
because he got Ryan Covington, he got TJ McConnell,
so many picks.
Covington, yeah.
He knew his asset management, a purely tactical, like strategic standpoint, was tremendous. There's never, I'm not old enough to know, right? But I mean, in my lifetime, I've never seen such actions. And the result is something right now. It's just incredible, right? And of course, there's some hindsight to it, right?
I mean, Sean Marks is kind of in that.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, and like they're actually really pretty good,
Yeah,
so,
they're a playoff team.
I mean, Marks is if you want to kind of look at someone in the NBA right now, he's. I mean, is there a move that Marks has done that hasn't worked out?
I mean, maybe the Allen Crabbe one, but that was really just a swing. And
I mean, like
on anything.
That while that one was a lot of money, they had a huge cap space, and I mean, if they want, they could just stretch him in the offseason. Like, and they'll still have insane salary cap. Like, I mean, in fact, that would open up obviously a ton more.
I mean, go ahead.
If we get Hinkie, then I'm buying all three of you guys Hinkie jerseys with his name on the back, making jerseys. But I mean, apart from that, like, yeah, that's probably my dream scenario. But my slightly more realistic scenario, I really hope Jerry comes back. I wish I knew the future. I just don't. So like, I can't. Like, I mean, sure, who wouldn't want Jerry West, right? But it's just
right.
Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka.
Yeah, the Lakers curved him in such a way that I don't know if Jerry West is the kind of guy that goes back to his ex. I don't know if he's that.
Well, he wouldn't go back to any other ex, but the only ex he would go back to was the one that he.
That's true, Merge. But still, I just. I mean, I really want it to be the case, but I don't know if it's going to be the case.
I think we could legitimately see it. I mean, it would be kind of weird considering like what he's building with the Clippers, but
and kind of what he's been saying recently.
But I mean, what he's been saying, but also now that idiot that didn't want him
is gone. Yeah,
and apparently Jerry and Phil had some type of issue, and maybe like Jeannie carries on that thing. But I'd be like, you didn't get married to him. Who gives a crap? Like,
yeah.
Phil Jackson hasn't been good in a decade.
There's been a thing people have been talking about once Magic did announce that he was gone, that maybe he just doesn't he knows something about like free agency, but does like if the Lakers like don't even strike out, or if they don't get anyone in free agency, this is still a plus for me, because like what Pete said today, he said that he was scared that the Lakers were going to get ran into the ground, like we're going to be hurting for like a decade because of Magic's moves. And now we don't have him here. So even if we miss on free agents, there's like it's just a lot brighter of a future in terms of, just looking forward. Even if LeBron doesn't work out, we still have the young guys, and I don't see them really moving. Lonzo or Brandon, even the guy who would come in, just because it didn't make any sense to really trade them before, unless they're getting an Anthony Davis type player, and that doesn't seem likely anymore.
If we got Jerry West, and Jerry West thought it was best to trade Ingram, I feel much more confident trading them now with a better GM than before. I do
agree with that. I do agree with that.
Asset, right? Of course. Like, and I know Clayton, you will literally die. You will be dead if Ingram is traded. You will be on the ground. You will be in the ground.
Sad. I would be, especially with how the flashes he showed. I would.
Yeah, it would hurt. It would hurt. There's no doubt about it. But
it'd possibly be better or worse than the D'Lo trade.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be that hurt for me, but it definitely would hurt. But this is a question for you, Clayton. Would you feel good about it if Jerry was in charge?
It depends on what they traded him
Right,
for.
of course.
You know, like and my thing always with a trade of Ingram, like even when he was rumored for AD, it was you could trade him, but then don't give up everyone else.
Right.
Yeah, it always has to be like it was always with the Anthony Davis trade that it would be everybody. Pretty much that's what it felt like. It was going to be every single young guy, or at least every single important young guy. In terms like it will be Ingram and Lonzo and Hart and Kuzma all at one time.
Yeah, I real quick. It is kind of sad of how the Lakers season ended. Ended on giving up a 3-pointer to win the game. Freaking that was on Muscala too. R.I.P.
Oh, of course, it was Muscala.
R.I.P.
Cam. So, what do you think all this movement means for the young guys in general? Do you think that there's still a decent chance they're traded? Do you think it raises that or lowers it? What do you think?
I think the chances are lower now, especially since it's Magic that's not there anymore, like you said.
Yeah.
And
Also,
the AD talks were there. It was just like everybody was in the trade talks. I feel like if it's Griffin or Jerry West, like they know when to cut that line. Even like Jesse Buss, like they just know when to cut the line. Because Magic was like willing to even fucking trade himself at that point. Like it was just ridiculous.
He was when it came out that they wanted that they were willing, or the Pelicans wanted 4 first-round picks in it.
It was like 4 first-round picks and like 2 swaps. It was. It was even like more ridiculous than like the Kawhi one that the Spurs had. Like it was nuts.
It was, yeah, and including
NBA Twitter would tell you it was nothing.
Does that also mean the same for the pick for you as well, Cam? That you think that they keep it? It's more likely that they keep it now after all the Magic stuff.
Yeah, I think they keep it. I mean,
yeah,
I don't really think they have a choice at this point. I mean, Magic, I guess with him leaving, for me, it kind of makes me iffy on free agency. So I feel like you kind of have to keep that pick. And, if you trade that pick for like Bill or somebody, you kind of like mess with your cap space. So I don't really know how you'll do that. I guess it depends on who comes in, but I think the chances are higher that we keep it now.
Yeah, when it comes to trading the pick, at least before draft night, they would have to match the salary that pick would make. So you're not going to trade that, and the salary for that pick is like $6 or $7 million, and you're not going to trade that.
It's not quite that high.
A little lower. Well, yeah, it makes the point even better. You're not going to get a quality player for a lotto pick for $5 million on a contract. Like it wouldn't make any sense. And then after you draft it, you wouldn't. It makes it less valuable to pick because it was already drafted, so you don't bring your own guy in.
Yeah.
So I just think it ends up with them bringing in another young guy who could help out this team. Maybe they draft more for a guy who's more ready. Maybe they end up drafting. They try to swing for the fences and try to go for a Porter Jr. type, or I don't know what that would be. It'll be interesting to see how the scouts move with this. Because also another thing, because Magic would overrode the Mo and Spellman pick, even though it doesn't seem to be that big of a difference. Like have him there to really override a pick that the scouts want, and then saying, "Oh, I want this guy because I like him."
I also wonder if that pick was determined because they weren't bringing Brook back. Real quick, Mikal Bridges was the 10th overall pick this past July, past June. Mm-hmm. It'll obviously go up a little bit with the increase of the cap, but currently this year he made $3.5 million. So you could guess next year's pick would probably make about 3.7, give or take. You're
not getting a good player from that because you have to match the salaries. You have to.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it would essentially be a valuable piece, something, but it's not going to get you anything by itself.
And the players who are good and they do have that very small contract, they're not. Those teams aren't trading them because they're young guys who are really good, pretty much. Like Donovan Mitchell, I think he's making probably that, right? Something a little less because he was the 12th pick, and there's no way the Jazz are trading Donovan Mitchell for the 11th pick in the draft. So it just makes it a lot less likely that it ends up happening. So which makes it a lot more fun for us because the draft is just we've been going through all the draft stuff on Twitter and stuff, and it's just a lot more fun to bring in those kind of guys that can really help out LeBron and the rest of the guys.
I wonder how the team moves forward because I saw LeBron this year. I saw him play like about half the games, and most of the games. I mean, you could tell that there's definitely like a bit of decline athletically from what I saw. I don't know if that's 100% true, right? But he didn't seem as menacing as he did, maybe a few years back. So that there definitely has been like a little bit of decrease, at least athletically. I know his stats and his play was still ridiculous. He's still one of the top players in the game, and he will be next year, and he likely will be the year after that. But I just want him. I hope that there is a bit of urgency to capitalize a bit, and we know what LeBron can do with just a group of shooters, but there does need to be, and I know we still need a star, even if because Ingram's still going to take a bit to develop, and
to be a star, he'd probably still be 2 years to be like that legit guy,
Yeah, so there definitely has to be some sort of patience with those guys, but I don't know if that's exactly the best route to optimize LeBron. So I don't know. It's a really interesting question, and it's going to be really curious to see how the GM maneuvers through this whole process because LeBron's not going to be great forever, right? And for right now, he's locking down that superstar status. And he'll probably hold down for a few more years. But in the meantime, he needs someone, right? He needs a Kawhi, a Paul George, a player of that caliber to help to give him some sort of help offensively and defensively, especially defensively, right?
Right.
So if we can get that kind of player, that's going to be the most instrumental part. Like if we get Kawhi. Now we're talking about a playoff lock for sure, and now we're talking about a serious contender. And then now after we get that guy, then it's about all right. Now we shove shooters down their throats and defenders and long rangey guys, and we shove a bunch of Culvers down their throat, and then we just fucking play basketball. That's when that happens.
A bunch of man.
I mean that'd be absolutely fantastic. So we just need to get to that point. Before we can start, before the margins really, really, really matter, like when we're trying to go for the championship. So there's definitely time, but there's not that much time. So I'm really banking on them getting that second star with LeBron, and then really building around LeBron. I mean, it can start right now, right? Because we can sign shooters and set all that stuff up just for the start to come in, and LeBron will have success next year if we build that infrastructure for him. But the real Lakers championship contendership won't happen until there is another star. So
and even with our best, like our most optimistic views on Ingram, I still don't think that would be enough for a championship win.
Yeah, and Lonzo too. Yeah.
With them as like your second and third best players, if you add that star to that equation, it just changes everything up. That actually lead to something else I wanted to talk about in terms of this free agency in general. Does this like completely does this make the Lakers' chances in free agency worse? Because I mean, people didn't really want to be around the culture with people like Magic and stuff like that. So, Clayton, do you think that free agency plans?
Can I actually go first?
Yeah, sure. You can go there. Go for that one.
I know I already talked a lot before, but still, as far as free agency goes, I feel like we're a little bit behind just because there's a lot of back channeling that happens. Maybe more so with LeBron it happened, but with a lot of these players, a lot of these deals are done, way before the time that you can officially sign for a team. So the Lakers really are kind of going to be behind it in that aspect. But most free agents, they know kind of where they're going to go. But the cards need to be organized pretty soon. So depending when it happens, that's going to let you know. The closer we get to free agency and the less clarity we have on the situation, the harder it's going to be. But I know everyone's saying that, Magic left because he doesn't have another free agent lined up, so he wants to go out sort of on top.
Yeah,
getting LeBron
on top,
and just I mean, as on top as he's gonna get. according to his in his mind, not getting that star. Yeah, I still think that Lakers still have a really good shot, and that Kawhi and training for Anthony Davis, maybe even I don't know, KD. It's possible, right? Like it's within the realm of possibility. I mean the KD one not so much, but still, if we get our stuff in order and we get Jerry West and then we get a few other guys and we promote internally and we draft good and we build a good infrastructure and then we present this plan, this vision that we have in an organized fashion. No antics, no showboating, none of this. We're gonna go on Jimmy Kimmel, none of that. We're gonna actually be good at basketball, and what's gonna draw them here is not Magic Johnson, not his pitches, not anyone else. I mean, he should be there, right? And because he would help.
He'll still help with the pitches, but
I want to hop in real quick on that.
Go ahead.
The pitches thing. I was listening to a couple older podcasts, and it was from Pete and Darius the other night.
Mm-hmm.
Or when I was listening to it was the other night, but I think it was a couple of weeks ago for them. I question how much those pitches actually mean. I think a lot of times those, as they said, a lot of those decisions are made up well in advance.
Yeah.
And those pitches are essentially just things to make you say no, as they said. I think if a guy is going to sign, then he's going to sign unless you just totally F up that pitch. Now, I think even Lakers history, we have a perfect example of that. LaMarcus Aldridge.
Oh man, don't even remind me.
They messed up the pitch so bad, and he apparently it almost seemed like he wanted to go to LA, but they even screwed up the second pitch. That's an issue, so just as long as you don't F up the pitch, you should be fine. Just wine and dine, make them happy, show them their picture with them in a Laker jersey, if it's Kawhi or whoever, show them with their jersey in the rafters with a statue outside Staples, any stuff like that. It's I don't think a pitch is just that damning,
right.
I guess that's probably the poor choice of word. Is that it's important, but it's not to the point where it's I don't think it's gonna be dang,
you're not gonna get wowed by a presentation and then just change your mind.
I mean, the guys like Kevin Durant and Kawhi. I mean, Kawhi less so because he had that deal kind of already with the Spurs and. But he knows the culture of Toronto. Toronto's not going to have to woo him with some fancy presentation. If Kawhi wants to come to LA, he's coming to Kawhi. He's coming to LA.
Yeah.
So
I still think he's going to be a Laker or a Clipper. Kawhi.
I've said for months I still think there's a really good chance that he's a Laker, and I know a lot of people say it's a lot of noise for the Clippers, but I think that's mainly just a lot of NBA Twitter saying that's not happening. And there was a couple of reports that it's just LA and the Clippers would be enticing as well. But I don't remember ever being the Lakers have no chance at this, blah, blah, blah.
I mean, have we heard anything from Kawhi since he got traded?
No.
We haven't heard anything from it.
No, I mean, and we're not going to hear anything from Kawhi.
Yeah, because that's just the way Kawhi moves,
Yeah.
Cameron, same question to you. Do you think this whole Magic thing and the whole sort of just craziness with the front office, do you think it hurts or helps the Lakers during free agency now?
So I think it helps us, but I guess I kind of value the pitch meetings a little bit more than Clayton. So I don't know. I feel like just the possibility of us having Jerry West, just say for this scenario, and having him and LeBron in the room. On our side instead of the Clippers, I feel like that really helps us if it's really LA.
I think it's important, but I'm just saying it's not the end all be all thing,
Right. I got you. So, I mean, I really feel like it depends on who's in the front office. Like, if it's Jerry West, I feel like, it's a possibility, even Griffin, but it just depends. I mean, some people like KD, and the report with Stephen A about Kyrie came out earlier this week. I don't really feel like that's a possibility either, but yeah, I feel like it helps definitely.
I can see it if it's the right guys that we're getting, and I mean Jerry West, he has a history of like persuading guys to sign with a team. I mean, just look back at the whole Shaq.
Real quick, Chris Haynes, Yahoo sources, Magic Johnson recently was granted permission to fire Luke Walton amidst contemplating resignation.
What the heck?
Oh.
I'm looking at it now.
I mean, that's kind of like our buddy BJ Meta says. That's kind of LeBron wants Luke gone, but I don't know.
I mean, I can see that too, but I mean, Haynes is a clutch guy, but
he's also been wrong recently as well.
He has been. The whole Lonzo thing, he was wrong about.
So I actually opened the article and it said most of this was after being informed of Luke's unwillingness to bulk up his coaching staff.
You're seriously that's what it says?
Yeah.
Okay, fire him.
I mean, if that's the case, yeah. But I mean, I honestly, like I said, I don't know if I believe that at all. I think right now, especially, you're going to see a ton of articles with stuff like that. I think you're going to see it. So I mean, like Luke, I mean, I think Luke will be there, but if Luke is going to be gone, like it's going to be gone, like whatever.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. If that's the case, that he just doesn't want, if he doesn't want to bulk up his staff, then he needs to be let go. Like that's it for me at that point.
I don't mean to interrupt, but it says it's just funny. Young Lakers cast off D'Angelo Russell and Julius Randle put together career years with Brooklyn Nets and New Orleans Pelicans, respectively, which led Johnson questioning Walton's coaching staff. But it's like, bro,
I'm sorry, that's not on. Like hey, that was letting guys go early. Like Magic, I'm so glad Magic is gone. Like idiot.
Staff wanted Julius back. Like,
yeah, the staff wanted Julius back. Like, and Luke and D'Angelo had a decent relationship, you know.
Yeah, they never had that bad of a relationship. It was Chick was like, I want my own leader, and he's not a leader.
Yeah,
and not D'Angelo.
He led the freaking Nets back to the playoffs before the Lakers. So
he did. That's I mean, there's still the D'Angelo Lonzo Ball. That one clip of Goodman or John Goodman, whatever his name is, that reporter about him asking Lonzo how he thinks he can fit with D'Angelo, and that just keeps playing in my head because I still think they would have been perfect together, honestly. But it is what it is. What else? Yeah, it's just been a lot. Like you said, there's just a lot of articles that are probably going to be coming out soon. About just how everything was in the actual front office. I'm expecting Pelinka to be gone within the week. I don't know if you guys are with me on that.
Yeah, I expect that. And honestly, I'm really excited to read the book that some Lakers insider is going to write.
Oh, no, it's going to be a 30 for 30. This has been the most.
There's going to be a book. There's going to be a book. There's going to be a book. Yeah, and I'm gonna buy 5 copies of that book. I'm just gonna read them all. Because
it's just like some of the stuff that came out, even in that Orem article, about how they wanted Jabari Parker and they tried, and they're thinking about hiring Luke midseason for Jason Kidd. And
oh my god, so those are fireable offenses right there. Jabari Parker sucks.
And like KCP and like Lance for Jabari, I think it was
it was KCP and Lance, but that doesn't even work all the way either. You'd have to include more. Like Jabari sucks.
Yeah, he's bad.
I don't care like if he can put up some quick points. That dude gives up more points than he scores, and like that dude is a black hole.
What a bust the top 2 of that draft turned out to be. My God.
I mean, how long have I been saying Jabari wasn't very good, but whatever. But then talking about Jason Kidd. Yeah. Fire him. Fire Pelinka. Fire Pelinka. I mean, and if you want to fire Luke, and because he doesn't want to bulk up staff, then
granted, the Jason Kidd thing was a Frank Iola.
Isola. Yeah, no, I totally understand that. I was one of the first people to point that out.
Yeah,
but like that's. I mean, if those were true, either of those, fire them.
Yeah.
Well,
go ahead.
Now in a Hayes piece that just came out, they said after we had the 22-point loss in January to the Timberwolves, the next day in Dallas, that Ty Lue was spotted in the team's hotel lobby chatting with Brian Shaw. So, I mean, it's
oh my God, it's conspiracy time.
Oh man, it's been conspiracy time for about a week or so for everything. I didn't even mention this. Today was the last game of the season for the Lakers, and like it's just crazy how that's not even the fifth thing that we're probably gonna want to talk about in terms of the Lakers right now. There's just so much going on. Hopefully, the Timberwolves can win tomorrow, so we can get to the 10th spot in the odds. And with March Madness ending and stuff like that, it's prime. DeAndre Hunter. Hey man, that dude jumped up just from one game. It seems like people had him falling out of the lottery, and all of a sudden, like, oh yeah, top 5 pick, DeAndre Hunter.
I mean, I had him top 6, so whatever.
No, I know. I have him like 7th, I think,
but one thing that Haynes' article kind of does point out is like, so Magic had the opportunity to fire Luke, and then he resigned.
That's
kind of. I mean, I'm kind of looking at our Laker DM. Sorry, Gerald, for bringing you in it. But it just kind of does seem really off. Steps down right before that, and yeah, it just seems like something happened. I think something happened.
I think we'll be able to talk about more once, and then we start hearing the actual names that they're considering. Right now, a lot of it now is this purely speculative. But just with everything happening, it's just so much like better. Just being able to sort of have that monkey off your back, to quote Magic Johnson. It's just you know, it's just a lot of fun. To end it, I actually do want to talk a little bit about the draft, just because like I said, we're in like the 11th, 10th spot, and March Madness just ended. I know me and Cam and Clayton have a ton of guys that we like. I don't know if Nelson, I don't know if you've been really looking that close to it.
I do have a few guys in mind.
Well, like who? We definitely have our favorites. I know I do, at least.
I mean, I think Clark.
Yeah, there it is.
Was really nice to see him play really well in the tournament, and just see what kind of monster he is and how effective he can be. God, I wish Culver could fall, and he struggled in the championship game a bit. But God,
he's my second overall prospect. He's
my second overall. Well,
if Culver goes outside of the top 4, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, I know. You see him and he pops out so much. You just love. You'd love to have that guy on your team.
But Cam, you have Jaw second, right? Or do you have Culver second now?
I still have Jaw.
You still have Jaw second?
Yeah,
right, you gotta kick Cam off.
I have Barrett second. So
yeah, RJ second. Yeah, I have him 4th now at this point.
I've got RJ 3, and it's clear to me.
Clear 3rd. I have Jaw at 3rd, so
I go back and forth between wanting to put Jaw at like 4 and like 7.
Also, I really like PJ. I mean, not PJ Washington. Kevin Porter. I think he can be something in it.
He is the guy that we talk, I think, the most about in our Laker DM in the last few days. Super lotto ticket type guy. I mean, he could be awesome, or he could be the next Nick Young.
Pretty much. Cam, where are you on KPJ right now?
Well, if we stay where we are, he'll probably be my second option. If we stay at like what are we like 10 or 11, I'm assuming that Clark and like even Hunter at that point are gone. So I'm like full PJ Washington at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But if PJ is not there, I wouldn't mind Kevin Porter. Like Clay said, full lottery ticket. I mean, it could go either way. It's just the immaturity and stuff that he had just kind of dropped his stock. I feel like if he wouldn't have had those issues, he probably wouldn't even be there at 11.
But he'd be a top 5 guy for sure.
Jackson Hayes is a guy though. Jackson Hayes is.
Jackson Hayes.
I've really fallen for Jackson Hayes.
That's a guy that I still think goes top 7 because he's just so talented.
We need Hayes, especially for hair.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's something about Texas big men, but first was Jared Allen, now it's Jackson.
Yep. I mean, we were both. You were high. You ended up being higher on him, but we both liked Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Is there anyone I haven't brought up? PJ, Cam, you said you like PJ a lot. I'm PJ now. So I think I have PJ 9th. Clayton, I don't think you have him in the top 10, right?
No.
We have him like what? Like is he still lotto for you? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I got PJ at like 11 or 12. I mean, it's not like I have him like super far out. I'm just, I mean, he's whatever. He would be a good pick. It would just be like a good pick. I want to be.
Would you guys be willing to roll the dice on Cam Reddish?
At 11,
if he's there at 11,
I go back and forth on that. I do.
I think I do it at 11. I know a lot of people don't have him in the lotto anymore.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
He's man. He's a guy I have absolutely no idea what to do with, because like you can like early in the season, like you could see it,
Yeah.
But then like he just completely fell off a cliff. Like
I
think someone's gonna take him high.
I can see that because of his body.
Someone's gonna take him. I mean, 6'8", 218. Like I think
he was supposed to be a primary ball handler too, coming out of high school. Like that was like one of his biggest pluses, that he was able to handle the ball like a point guard.
Yeah,
and he didn't show it because RJ and Zion and Trey were just the main ball handlers there.
I probably wouldn't have the cojones to do it, but if they did it, I also wouldn't be super pissed. Like if they took Cam Reddish, like I wouldn't be as mad as if say they took like
goddamn Bol, yeah,
Rui Hachimura,
Rui or Bol or Keldon,
or your boy Kobe White.
I mean, like all
of Jay Williams superstars.
Hey, oh man, like I don't.
Jay Williams superstars.
I don't get it with Kobe White. I don't. I mean,
she called him Darren Williams. I remember
that. I forgot to mention. I doubt he's there at 11 because I feel like once he does all his pre-draft workouts and stuff, but somehow Garland could fall to 11. Me and Ray was talking about that yesterday.
Garland is
I'm infatuated with Garland.
The 4 guys that I want to drop, one of them is Brandon Clark, DeAndre Hunter, Jackson Hayes, or Darius Garland.
Yeah,
those are the 4 guys that I really want. I could be happy with honestly, guys, but there's a few guys I would just be livid with.
Of those 4 that you just said, Garland might be the highest of those 4. Even over Brandon Clark at this point.
No, and like I don't have. I mean, honestly, I don't have any of those guys top 5. If I could see all of them getting there. I think Garland for me would have the highest potential to get there because like Garland, I think I have Garland at like 6.
6,
like,
yeah.
I do have DeAndre at 5. I have loved him all year since last year, so like that train. I would probably go like DeAndre at 5, Garland at 6, Jackson at 7, Clark at 8. Like those are my guys.
I think we should draft Admiral Schofield because I mean like can we talk about a name? Can we talk about a better name? It has never existed.
If they do though, if with the new president of basketball operations and everything, like I would love to see them somehow try and get like
Matisse.
Like 11 for somehow 16 and like 27. The Nets.
I've been saying it in the group message for the past week. Trade down and give me THT and Matisse.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna go off of Tankathon, which I mean, I don't really take Tankathon's mock draft all that serious, but like just based off of this, I wouldn't take Grant Williams. I'm not a fan. I would take Kevin Porter Jr. at 16. And then who they have at 27, Matisse Thybulle, yeah. That Thybulle and Kevin Porter Jr., yes.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's a great draft.
Yes. That's a draft right there.
Yeah. I'm pulling a Bill Simmons when they got James Young.
Oh man.
Except I actually plan on both of those guys turning out.
Man, it's because there's a lot of guys in like that 16 to 44, like 45 range who like I would really like. Like especially in this block.
If the option is to say taking Bol or Kobe White or Rui Hachimura, or like I can trade back. I'm taking a trade back every single time.
What about those? Hey, Kobe White's another one that it would work in Nelson's hair team, though.
He would, but he would probably also get to LA and shave it.
Dang, that would suck if he shaved it. That would drop him like 4 spots if he have the hair.
I mean, hair is like hair is just like how good looking you are. It just helps. It just helps you in life, and hair helps in life. It's how it is.
It just jumps you up. Man, yeah, and we've talked about before. We talked about Matisse before, like as a buy a pick guy or try to trade down and get 2 picks sort of guy. Just because of purely just his defense. I mean, Matisse is just. It's kind of like how what's his name, Jamario Jones is right now, and he's getting like 2 blocks and 2 steals a game. Imagine what Matisse is gonna do,
Right.
And imagine how like Brandon Clark's gonna do. Those 2 guys are like the king of stocks in terms of steals and blocks. And imagine getting like Clark and buying a 2nd round pick for Matisse. Those 2 guys on the same court. That would be absolutely insane. Are there any other guys that any of you guys like that we haven't brought up yet for that 11th pick? They have the Lakers taking Romeo Langford in the Tankathon draft. I still don't know what to do with Romeo Langford, like at all, because he was a hyped up guy, sort of coming into it, and then he just was like
super into that.
I feel like I'm higher on Reddish than most people. I know we talked about him already, but I just feel like the shot would translate. I don't feel like Duke was just a good fit for him at all.
It's kind of like to a lesser extent because he was good at Duke anyway, but it's kind of like Wendell Carter Jr. last year because Marvin Bagley and Grayson Allen and Trey Jones were kind of featured more. Not Trey Jones. Trey Duval. They were all 3 of them were like more featured than Wendell, but Wendell was kind of like he couldn't put up a ton of numbers on that Duke team, but you could see how good he could actually be, and now he's a guy that I think if we had a redraft, I think I'd have him top 5. But I was super high on him coming out of Duke. But it's just sort of in a different environment, and having him sort of have him not be like the third sort of fiddle to Zion and RJ might do him like really well. I also think he'd be a G League guy for a whole year. I don't know if I'm the only one that thinks that.
I can see that.
Yeah, Clayton, do you think that too? You think he's a G League guy? If like Cam,
who?
Or would he actually play? Cam Reddish. If Lakers drafted Cam Reddish, you think he's a G League guy, or do you think he'd actually get minutes for the team?
He'd get minutes.
He would get minutes.
He would get minutes.
I just don't know. Weird.
Cam at 11. Yep. Anyone that's going lotto, if Lakers are taking them, they're getting minutes.
I think him and
this isn't Mo Wagner. This isn't Frank Bonga or Svi Mikhailuk. Like Larry Nance. Did Larry Nance even play in that?
No, but Larry was pretty much a finished product.
Yeah, I mean, the last Lakers pick that was there's no pick this high that's ever been in the G League for the Lakers. So I don't think so. I think he would get minutes.
I think just because of how raw he sort of looked. Cam.
Now am I saying he would need G League minutes? That's a different thing. I think he would need G League minutes, but do I think the Lakers would give him G League minutes?
Well, I can see him being in the G League anywhere else, but just the whole clutch thing. Yeah, that's just a different thing. I don't see him.
Oh, yeah, I forgot Cam might be going to the clutch. I forgot about that.
Well, it's not for sure. He was just sitting with them.
I think he's going.
It's kind of the.
I mean, if that's the case, then we're also getting Garland. So.
Yeah, we're getting Garland first, so I'll be happy with that.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Nelson, Clayton, do you have any other guys that we haven't talked about, or have we pretty much touched on all of them?
Well, we can talk about them later.
I know Go Dodge today was a guy that people talk on Lakers Twitter a little bit about, but I don't really. But the international big man, the big white guy.
I'm gonna pass.
Yeah, people are super high on him. I think even people like Ben have him lotto-ish sort of.
I've seen that. I mean, that's fine.
I think they've sort of compared him to Nurk from the Blazers.
Nurk with range. No.
Yeah. I think that we'll cut it off there. There's a lot more, especially when we actually find out our pick. It'll be a lot more definitive talk about a lot of these guys. I think we're gonna end it there. There's still a lot up in the air in terms of the Lakers. That once it does come out, we'll try to get back on here and talk about it more in depth once we do know the details about it. Unless any of you guys have any other thing you guys wanted to bring up about any of this Magic stuff, go ahead.
It was just an absolutely chaotic day, and
it was a nothing day for most of the day for me, and then all this happened.
Yeah, it's just that process was draining, and it felt like we were literally in the scrum because we were updates by a second. And shout out to everyone who covered it. We wouldn't know any of the stuff without them. Shout out to Paulo Uggetti from The Ringer and a bunch of other guys who I saw, and they were live tweeting and doing all this stuff. So it was great to get all that content and soak it all in. It's still fresh, but there's a lot more hope with the Lakers, and I think we should all be generally excited. We'll see what happens. The Lakers are always dramatic, so there will be drama involved.
The Lakers are the best reality TV show.
Just don't hire Rambis.
Oh man, the reaction that would happen if the Lakers hired Kurt Rambis as one of their head front office guys would be it would shut down Lakers Twitter. Yeah. It'd be like the day D'Lo got traded. It'd be probably even worse, to be honest. It'd be something. All right, so I think we're gonna end it off there. Thanks for joining us, guys. Thanks for Cam for joining us for the first time. Definitely welcome on anytime in the future again, because we definitely like having other opinions on all this other stuff. So thanks for hopping on with us. Do you have anything else you wanted to add, or you good on that?
Why not? Thank you. I'm good, man.
All right, cool, man. Clayton, you're always here. Nelson, thanks for joining us again.
Of course. I'm the guest / host / co-host / whatever else you guys want to call me.
/ RIP Nelson.
Yeah.
All right. Don't forget to follow the actual podcast on Twitter at @UnderDogPod. You can follow Clayton at Lakers1949. You can follow me at Merge Christian. And Cam, your Twitter it's different now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 3 underscores and then Klew, KLEW, and then the number 2. So.
All right, there we go. And then Nelson, you're still IDK _ Spinoza.
Yeah.
Go ahead and follow Nelson, even though he barely tweets anymore.
Yeah, let's do that.
It's sad. Right. So thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll see you guys later. Peace.